Welcome to Unleashed. And don't forget to join us on Patreon for early access and exclusive content. Here are the guys.
Welcome to Unleashed. I'm James Rosile, and I got two special guests with me today. First up on your screen right now, staring at you, is Den. Den, how you doing?
Hi, doing pretty good, despite the fact I'm trapped in my house and, just here, alone in the abyss. Alone.
No one is with you in that house, not even a cat.
No, I got my
You're
wife
right.
with me. Jeez.
And joining us also is Phil. Phil, how you doing?
Hi, I'm doing pretty good, thanks. I'm doing as good as can be expected. Haven't got the virus yet, so I'm doing well.
That's good. You are also isolated in your home, filled with Funko Pops and the Mandalorian. Is that the chrome Mandalorian behind you?
That is what is it called? It's carbon.
Oh yeah, the carbon one.
Carbon.
Wow.
Carbon.
I know where I'm going when this is all over. But get my hands on that one. I haven't seen that figure in the stores ever, actually, to be honest, where I am. But that's neither here nor there. We're going to talk about something cool that kind of came about on Friday. Peter Schrader from Slash Film confirmed with two sources that not only will Ahsoka Tano be in live action form on the second season of The Mandalorian, but Ahsoka will be portrayed by a longtime fan and a petitioner of the playing the part, Rosario Dawson. So before we get into anything, Phil, I'll start with you because you're on the screen right now. What was the first thing you thought of when you heard of this news?
The first thing I thought of was, wow, they're actually going to put Ahsoka in a live action. I was quite surprised. I thought they were going to... I didn't think it would happen. I didn't think we would ever see it. I thought that they would keep her in the animated series, but very excited because Rosario Dawson is a great actress, and she has been in some of my favorite movies.
Absolutely.
So I'm very excited. Best of all was 25th Hour, which was one of my favorites, and she played the female love interest in that, and fantastic actress. So I'm really happy that she's been chosen. If she has
been, yeah. And Den, how about you?
Yeah, so my first thought was very similar. It was just like, holy crap, we're getting Ahsoka Tano. And then when I found out Rosario Dawson, I was like, perfect. And then my mind immediately went to well, what about Ashley Eckstein? She's the voice we know, so I'm wondering if they're going to do like a Sam Witwer and Ray Park kind of deal, or if it's going to be all Rosario, and will that change our perception of Ahsoka forever? And I think it might.
Yeah, I think you're on there. We'll get to Ashley Eckstein in a minute. Yeah, for me, it was very much, we've been doing a few videos over the last little while where we talk about bringing Ahsoka into live action, and I was excited about it because as great as she is in Clone Wars and as great as she is in Rebels, the minute she enters the live action real world of Star Wars, she's going to be exposed to many more fans, and then she will be, I think for a lot of people, should be included in a lot more of their top 10 lists of characters and whatnot, because there's so many fans that just, they don't really connect with the Clone Wars or Rebels because it's animated, because it's in the animated world. They love their live action. They stick with live action, the feature films and whatnot. And I think when you put her in a show, especially one like The Mandalorian, this is gonna boost a character like Ahsoka to the upper echelon of characters. Maybe not as high up as Luke or Han or anyone, but definitely second tier, I would suspect.
I'd agree with that.
Yeah, and I think what we're going to find is that a lot of us in the, deeper community of fans are going to, tell all of our friends when they go, oh, who is that? And we're going to be like, that was Anakin Skywalker's apprentice when he was a Jedi. And people will be like, oh, really? He had an apprentice? Where is this? And you're like, here's the Clone Wars.
Here it is. Get it up. So we have Rosario Dawson playing Ahsoka, and obviously Ashley Eckstein has been the voice of Ahsoka for over 10 years now, and the fans associate Ashley Eckstein with Ahsoka. And I've seen a lot of tweets going on that like, oh, it's exciting, but Ashley is Ahsoka. You can't replace her, blah blah. And my train of thought right now is, the one image that we've seen from the set of The Mandalorian season 2 is simply a slate, a film slate, a clapboard with director Dave Filoni on it. And Dave Filoni is the creator of Ahsoka. He's the reason Ahsoka exists. He's the reason why Ahsoka has entered Rebels. I believe the Ahsoka novel by E.K. Johnston was overseen by Dave Filoni. He's come out and said, if anything happens with Ahsoka, it's got to go through him first, basically. So my feeling on Ahsoka being played by Rosario Dawson is it was, and we'll, like I said, we'll get into Ashley Eckstein in a second, but it was approved and blessed by Dave Filoni, and possibly even Ashley Eckstein signed off on it and agreed with him on that one. What do you think, Phil?
I'm not. Yeah, I mean, I think it's a pretty easy decision to make, really. I mean, I don't know if Ashley Eckstein has done actual live action movies. Has she? Can you tell me?
I think she does some shows. Or if she hasn't acted yet.
But I mean, Rosario Dawson is a full-blown, unbelievable actress, and it's kind of the same. Like Mark Hamill is the voice of the Joker in the animated series. Do you think he'd make a good live-action Joker? Probably not.
That's an interesting take. What about you, Dan?
I think, yeah.
So, true, but Mark Hamill played a Joker-esque character in Gotham, and he knocked it out. I do definitely love that Rosario Dawson was cast, because she like has such a wide range of acting ability, right? Like, she can play, as Phil mentioned earlier, love interest. She can be a very sentimental character. She can also be a badass, like in Luke Cage and in the Defenders. But like, at the same time, I think there's still this. My only question, I definitely know they're probably not going to go with Ashley Eckstein, but I'm wondering if they're going to do the Sam Witwer thing with Maul. Is it going to be Rosario Dawson we see, but Ashley we hear? Like, that's kind of my main thought right now.
It's a good point, but Phil, what do you think? Do you think it's a?
I would.
Do you think it's almost a waste?
I don't think that.
I think it's a waste of Rosario Dawson if you have somebody else do the voice for the character.
Yeah. I don't think they'll do that. I don't think she would do it. I think that she's probably taken the role and is going to take over the role, and has probably had a lot of conversations with Ashley Eckstein, and maybe there was something there, and maybe she didn't want to do it. Maybe she said, "Well, I'll continue to do this, but I'd rather," we don't know really. But I would say that if Rosario Dawson is going to be the character, I would say that they're going to use her voice. I would say. Yeah,
I kind of thought of that too, about Eckstein doing the voice with Dawson doing the action, but it's so strange. It's weird because it's not like, with Ray Park as Maul, he's acrobatic, right? Like, he jumps around, does his flips, his sword fighting and all that stuff, and then they're like, oh, his voice doesn't match what we're thinking. Whereas Ahsoka, Rosario Dawson isn't a stunt woman. So that's for me. But I also feel like Rosario Dawson, when she came out, a few years ago now, and she said she would love to play Ahsoka, she knows, she's aware of who the character is, and I bet you she's aware of the popularity of Ashley Eckstein and her universe brand and whatnot. And if there was ever a do you want to play the physical part of this, but we'll have the original voice come back, I don't think she would deny doing that. I think she would actually be on board. However, like, the possibility, we don't even know when in the Star Wars timeline this is taking place, right? I've been thinking, Dan, did you have an idea?
Well, it's Mandalorian season 2, so it's probably like 6 years after Return of the Jedi.
Unless she's in a flashback.
Which means it's like... That's true. You do have a point.
A huge part, though.
Well, yeah. Well, is it like?
I think otherwise, if it was just a flashback, I don't think they would have. I think it would be more of a surprise. Here's Ahsoka,
Yeah.
and then it would be a surprise thing rather than it was actually come out before it started.
That's true. So, well, here's the thing. So, 6 years after Jedi, we know right after Jedi, she leaves with Sabine to find Ezra and Thrawn. How does it fit into that storyline then? If we're getting her 6 years after, is she already back for finding Ezra and Thrawn, or does she give up on Sabine? That raises even more questions.
It could be as simple as it could just be as simple as Mando and Baby Yoda stumble upon her and Sabine on a planet while they're on their search. Yeah. It could be that simple, and it's just like, oh, hey, you two know about this Force thing. Oh, you're kind of a Force sage. Here is this baby thing that can make people die with his hands. And she's just like, oh, it's Yoda's species. Wow. And then, Ahsoka and Baby Yoda kill like an army of 10,000 by themselves, and Mando and Sabine are back up, and fun times. Oh wait, did I just give my wishes and dreams?
And there's definitely going to be Jedi in the next series. I've heard.
You've heard? Yeah.
Yeah, I watched an interview with the guy who plays. We find his name. What's his name? Moff Gideon. The guy with the dark saber.
He says lots of lightsaber action, right?
Lots of lightsaber action, which means there's going to be some kind of Jedi presence. I would have thought in it, and so it's going to be cool.
Yeah, I think we're all excited for Mando season 2. I don't know if anyone's not after that first season. That was just a ton of fun. Do you guys think that there's a possibility casting Rosario Dawson in Mandalorian season 2? She's in, let's say she's in the one episode. Let's just say Ahsoka shows up one episode, because that's the way the series kind of goes, right? She shows up, she has her episode, but they use that as a catalyst to give Ahsoka her own Disney Plus series. Do you think that's a possibility?
Well, why would you not make an Ahsoka movie? She's already got the fan base there, and I think it's a good thing. Like if Rosario Dawson pulls it off, and it's a success, they know already. Well, this is a cash cow. We can milk that, but if it doesn't work, and it's kind of like maybe they'll just go back to, keeping her animated in the future. So I think it's a no lose situation for them, really.
Dan, what about you?
Yeah, I definitely don't disagree with that.
Do you think we'll find out?
No, I think Phil said it perfectly.
Do you think they could be using this to get her own show, her own series?
They'll sell a lot of toys.
Her own, yeah, for sure. Her own series or movie or whatever, but then they can use that to get us to the point in Rise of Skywalker where we don't know, is she a Force ghost? Is she one with the Force at the end when she calls out to Rey? Because Rey, the one thing, when you hear Ahsoka in that, is Rey's all the Jedi. So that would tell me that Ahsoka is back to being a Jedi at that point. Do you know what I mean? Like, because the light side isn't necessarily just Jedi. The Jedi use the light. So do you think she could be on a path back to that at all?
So I actually feel like they're using Ahsoka to bring back the Legends concept of the Jedi Sage. And yeah, because she had that weird Gandalf staff.
Yes.
And like as soon as I saw that in Rebel Season 4, I immediately went, Jedi Sage? Maybe? And so yeah, like, and if she is a Jedi Sage, maybe she wasn't even dead in Rise of Skywalker. She was just like in the Force because she is the Force and the Force is her. Like she's in that kind of relationship. Kind of how like Yoda transcended with Ezra, and like Ezra could have a physical conversation with Yoda even though he was still alive.
Yeah, I love that idea. And then you satisfy, the one thing that does too is it satisfies fans, because I don't think fans want Ahsoka to die, but she's obviously a voice, so this kind of, they give you some wiggle room into how to pull that one off. I love that idea of the Jedi Sage and Ahsoka becoming that. And So Ahsoka, Mandalorian season 2. What kind of presence is she going to have? Is it just going to be like, oh look, you're a Force user, or is there going to be? Will the season maybe lead into finding Ahsoka?
I think she's going to have quite a poignant position. She might end up. I think she's going to have a lightsaber battle with a couple of people, and I don't know how many episodes she'll be in. Maybe it'll only be 1 or 2. But I think she'll have. It will just be a bit of an action scene, and they'll try and give her some background to where she's been and stuff like that. And then, like you said, maybe even just tease the Ahsoka story. And then, so we want more. We want to find out where she's been, what she's been doing, and then they'll get a spin-off from that, maybe.
Dan?
My instincts tell me they're going to Moff Gideon her. So, like, we'll see her in, like, the last few episodes. Because, now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought they wrapped filming season 2. And so, after they finished filming season 2, they announced that Rosario Dawson, was cast. And this is like a month later.
Well, has it been?
So like, I'm like,
it hasn't been
are they
announced.
holding on to that, or?
I think Disney's actually said it.
Yeah.
Right? It's just a rumor, but it's
Oh,
quite
okay.
a strong rumor.
What-
I think it
It was so. What happened was Slash Film, Peter Shredder at Slash Film. He was there was word early on that a legacy character was going to be appearing on Mandalorian season 2, or legacy characters. Nobody knew who they were, and Slash Film took it and they kind of were trying to report on who it was, trying to get information, and 2 sources confirmed that it was Rosario Dawson playing Ahsoka, and then Clayton Sandell, he confirmed that he heard that Ahsoka was going to be in season 2, but he could not confirm that it was Rosario Dawson, but he did know that Ahsoka was going to be making an appearance in it. So 2 separate sides, and now everybody's, Hollywood Reporter, everybody's now reporting on this as fact, but nobody at Star Wars or Lucasfilm has come out and said or even Rosario Dawson's people, no one has confirmed that she is playing Ahsoka. So it looks like no matter what Ahsoka's in it, whether or not it's Rosario Dawson I would say it's highly likely, but that's still up in the air.
Yeah, she could be another Matt Smith.
Oh, good gosh.
Rosario Dawson just turns up as like a green alien for like 3 minutes.
Maybe Matt Smith is playing Ahsoka. We were all wrong from the get-go. It's all Matt Smith. Yeah, so I do like the idea. If she is the Moff Gideon, though, and doesn't appear to the end, would it bum you guys out that this has been leaked a year out? That we were leaked on this surprise? Like, we weren't leaked on Baby Yoda, but then we get this, and now it's been leaked, and the shock value's gone. Unless she's in the first episode.
No, not really. I mean, I don't know how they kept Baby Yoda under wraps. To be honest, they did really well with that one. Because a lot of the stuff. I mean, the leaks with the Rise of Skywalker was insane. How accurate they were. And I think it's there if you want to look at it, but I don't know. It's 2020. Nothing stays a secret.
Now we're all isolated inside. We're going to spend more time on the internet. We're going to know the entire storyline of Mando season 2 before June.
Before it comes out.
Yeah.
They already said that they're actually, because of the isolation situation, they might release it early.
That's it's October. I hope this all blows over by October, so maybe we won't. But I think Rise of Skywalker, I have the digital copy, but I wouldn't be surprised if that hits Disney Plus within a month, I would say. Frozen 2, 3 months early, or 4 months early, whatever it was, on Disney Plus, and Onward, April 3rd. So I think we're going to see Rise of Skywalker within a month, because this thing doesn't look like it's going away.
I think it will create quite a bit more of a buzz for it, because I think she'll bring all of her fans across. She's probably got a huge following.
Yeah.
People that maybe don't really know who Ahsoka is will think, oh, she's in the new Star Wars. Let's just watch it. And so
Yeah, I think it's good cross promotion as well, because a fan of The Mandalorian who doesn't watch Clone Wars or Rebels because they're kids shows, because they're cartoons, that's how they view them, will watch this. Who's this character? Then they have to go back and find it out. Kind of like what I thought was going to happen with Maul at the end of Solo, where it's like, how's Maul here? Well, you got to go watch these shows. But Clone Wars, I think, was a little bit harder to find when Solo came out, because they were just leaving Netflix, I believe, or they had already left Netflix. So for the casual fan who didn't go in and buy all the box sets and whatnot, they couldn't find Clone Wars. Now it's the exact same place you're finding The Mandalorian, and if they're smart, which I'm sure they will be, The Mandalorian will be there, and then the suggestion for the Ahsoka episode will be Clone Wars will be right under it.
Yeah, for sure.
Where does Ahsoka, Dan, I'll start with you. Where does Ahsoka rank on your all-time favorite Star Wars characters? Because I know you got off to a little bit of a shaky start, as many people did with the character.
Yeah, so my if you were to ask me this when I was a teenager, like in season 1 of the Clone Wars, I think I was like 17, 18 when that came out. I was just like, oh my gosh, this Sky Guy child needs to go away. But then, like, as she, like, Dave Filoni did an amazing job of giving her character development. He is great at animated character development. Mm-hmm. There's something there for the kids, there's something there for the grown-ups, and he's great at balancing that. I'll even say, like, the second half of season 1 of Resistance even went there. So with Ahsoka, like, I started off disliking her, and then she grew on me. I would say if I were to put her in a top 10, really, I could probably put her in a top 5. Wow. Like, you guys do the top 5 thing, she'd probably be number 4 for me. She normally is somewhere in the top 5. Because, like, Hondo's always number 1 in another Filoni creation, which we need to see, like,
I gotta say this about Hondo.
But, like,
my sister went to Galaxy's Edge, never seen Rebels or Clone Wars in her life, loves Star Wars. So she was in Florida a couple months ago, before all this happened, and now she loved Hondo. She loved Hondo on the ride. Loved him.
Everyone loves Hondo.
In fact, how about you, Phil? Did you ever always love Ahsoka? Was it a growing process for you, and where would she rank for you nowadays?
She would rank somewhere outside my top 10. I think until I'm more of I think all of my top 10 are all live action. So I'm hoping that, when she comes in,
knock it out of the park,
does a great job, and she will do. Maybe she can creep in there. I think it's, for me, the live action characters are always going to be in my sort of top 10, because that's where my allegiance lies. I don't know. Yeah, I think like eventually if we get a live action Thrawn or something like that, those kind of characters are going to be awesome, and they will maybe creep into the top 10. It's difficult list to get into though, isn't it? Now that the universe is expanding so much. I don't know. I mean, it was difficult enough for sort of Rey and Kylo Ren to get in there, so
Yeah. So, no, it's tough, and
I think after the live action comes out, we'll reassess. I think.
Yeah, I think a lot of people would be on that page too, where the live action are the meat of the characters, and that's where a lot of them lie. I don't know. For me, I don't know where she would be, to be honest. I don't know if she's in my top 10. She's definitely close because of the role she played towards the end of Rebels, especially. I like the Jedi Sage idea. I love the Bendu character. I hope Star Wars explores more characters like that. I was all in on the Bendu during those times, so I hope we get more of that. I'm looking forward to more Ahsoka. I do hope that if she resonates with fans, that she does spin off into her own series. I hope that's what they're working towards, because Bob Iger said, let's not forget, Bob Iger said on that call many, many moons ago now, when it was a whole different world we were living in, that they were going to use characters being introduced in The Mandalorian to spin off into their own series. And Ahsoka seems like the perfect candidate for that. It's a character that fans love, that Dave Filoni loves. that you would suspect that the director's working on season 2. I mean, who knows? Deborah Chow's going off to do Obi-Wan. Maybe someone like Bryce Dallas Howard goes off and does all of the Ahsoka series as well. So maybe they're grooming it, the directors who are doing these series to do other series, and same with the characters to transcend as well. And then when you get someone like Rosario Dawson, maybe you get her in long term on more than just 1 or 2 episodes or whatever it is, and for an entire season. That's my hopes with it all right now, because I think she's a great character, and I think she deserves to be exposed more to the fan base, because I have not been to Galaxy's Edge, but from what I know, she's not there because she can't be there, because it takes place in between Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah, I definitely think they're going to use it as a test, almost like we'll stick her in The Mandalorian. If it works out, we'll make a full-blown either a movie or a series.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, we're going to wrap this one up. We'll get some closing statements from you guys. Den, we'll start with you. Any last words on Ahsoka, live-action Mando, or anything else in Star Wars world?
I am so hyped about this. I hope it's more than just a rumor. I hope that there is truth in it. Again, like, Ahsoka is an original character in the last decade who has really, like, brought the community closer together. Like, when you go to Celebration, you see people cosplay as Ahsoka. You have Ahsoka's lightsabers at Galaxy's Edge now. Ahsoka is a main character. Whether or not she's in live action, I think, is beside the point, because to so many of us, she is a main character. So I'm super excited. I'm stoked.
Yeah. Phil, how about you?
Yeah, I'm very excited to see what Rosario Dawson brings to the table. I'm sure she'll do a great job. She's also, I think she's a Star Wars fan as well. Like, kind of Boyega's a bit of a Star Wars geek, and I think that she's in the same sort of category. So I'm hoping that she does a good job. I'm sure she will, and I'm very excited about seeing Ahsoka in live action.
Yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait to see people that, like I said, like you said, Den, what you said was, she's great even though she's animated, and fans love her. I just, fans like my parents won't watch the cartoons, the animated series. I can't wait to see them get exposed to such a fantastic character. Someone who I was on the same page as you when I remember watching these old interviews before the Clone Wars came out, and they're like, we thought it'd be great to give Anakin a Padawan, and it was like this little annoying Ahsoka character, and I was like, oh, I don't know if I can handle this. And now I'm like, put her in live action, give her own series, give me a Black series, give me a Funko, give me this. Like, now I'm like all in on Ahsoka, and I don't think, like you, 10, 12 years ago, whatever it was, I would even have fathomed being a fan of Ahsoka, because and it just goes to show, though, if you believe in something and you give the powers that be the opportunity to expand on it and tell their story, that there's a purpose for it all, and it'll work out in the end. That's how I feel on it all. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining me on Unleashed today. Sorry about the technical difficulties. We had some hiccups here, but you both look crystal clear right now, so it's always nice to end on a high. So let's do it right now. Thank you guys for watching. Let's look forward to more Ahsoka news. We'll talk again soon, because this was a lot of fun. And until next time, may the force of others be with you.
Hey scumbags, thanks for watching. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up on our video. As always, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Rebel Scum Podcast, for all the latest videos.